uncloaked by the findings of a special counsel who first appeared supportive, even friendly, if not outright in league with Joe Biden and his Attorney General, Merrick Garland. But one phrase in the special counsel's report was awkwardly placed, and it may prove disqualifying and political recovery from which may be impossible for Joe Biden. Special counsel Robert Hur, in declining to prosecute Joe Biden for his handling of classified documents, may well have undone the puppet presidency of Joe Biden and his Marxist masters. Hur's investigation found that Biden kept and disclosed classified materials after his vice presidency. So why won't Hur prosecute? In essence, the investigation concluded that Biden is senile. The President of the United States, in the judgment of the special counsel, is too advanced in his senility to face either prosecution or consequences for his actions. Hur's report paints a picture of an elderly man who has only the foggiest idea of anything. According to the Hur report, Biden could not recall when his son Beau had died. Biden could not recall when he was vice president. His recollection of critical policy debates and decisions was poor and confused, if it was there at all. And Joe only made matters of his mind worse when he staged an impromptu so-called speech to the nation in response to the Hur report, desperately trying to refute the charge of senility, cognitive impairment, incapable of leading the world's leading nuclear superpower, indeed the Western free world. To call his performance a failure is understatement. At one point, Biden referred to the Egyptian President al-Sisi as the leader of Mexico. All of this occurring as the Tucker Carlson interview of Russian President Vladimir Putin was airing. The contrast was damning. As President Putin schooled his interviewer in Russian and European history for a half hour without notes and commanded that interview throughout 2 hours, well, was it propaganda? You decide. If so, it was prodigiously successful. You may recall our intelligence agencies declared Putin to be in failing health, then severely ill, and later to be dying of cancer. All of this not long after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But Putin pulled off a propaganda success that no one could have contemplated. His mind was clear. He held forth for 2 hours on geopolitics, international relations, exhibiting a deep knowledge of a millennia of history, a lucid, detailed history of the Russian people. And Putin at times jabbing Tucker for his, inability to follow the course of what was essentially a collegiate-level lecture by Professor Vlad. And Biden, by contrast, there's no comparison. At least no comparison that any American would want made. Biden, feeble, angry, confused, lost. And this is our commander-in-chief, or so our political parties, the deep state, the corporatist national media have pretended for 3 years. Now, I want to be clear about this moment. In my opinion, our country is about to change profoundly, markedly, and in ways, in all likelihood, that we can't even imagine right now. The contrast in acuity of mind between Biden and Putin drives the point that we are in serious trouble in this country. And we have two people to thank for the disclosure of the comparison. Robert Hur, whatever his motivation, delivered truth in his report, and Tucker Carlson, who, whatever his motivation, delivered truth that the national corporatist media, the Marxist Dems, and the deep state would never have revealed. I thank both here tonight. Our times are treacherous, and so are our leaders, it turns out. We must change that, and we must change it now. God help us, because we need it. Joining us now is a man who understands well competing, conflicting political forces and the political perils of our public arena. And he just announced he's running for U.S. Senate from the great state of Montana. Montana Congressman Matt Rosendale joining us. Let's welcome him to the broadcast. Congressman, great to have you with us. And and congratulations on making it official. Your thoughts as you are looking around you and people are deciding who they're going to support, and some people trying to keep you out of the race. Your reaction to
Oh,
it all?
yeah. Yeah. So I was joined by my wife and probably, I don't know, 36, 40 legislators, the Montana Speaker of the House, folks that I served with, folks that are active now in the legislature, the grassroots from the state of Montana. And they're very enthusiastic, very supportive, and it's good to know that I have that kind of support. We've got sheriffs, county commissioners, just private citizens. The outpouring of support, Lou, that I have received over the last several weeks, where we've been really grinding down this final decision, has been overwhelming. And that's what gave me the confidence to go ahead and launch the campaign. We started today. We go into the Party Faithful. The state party is having what they call their midwinter kickoff here the next day and a half. And we're going to celebrate with everyone. And then we're going to get back to campaigning and get back to doing the people's work there in Washington.
Well, and you work hard. I know that. I also know that you've got a lot of folks kind of upset. The establishment seems to be a little upset with you, including Senator Gaines and apparently Mike Johnson, the Speaker, not rushing to lift you up on their shoulders. What's your reaction to it all? The, if you will, the confluence of establishment opposition.
Well, I think there's an old saying that says you're judged by your enemies. Well, I've got plenty of supporters, Lou, but I've got plenty of enemies too, and they're in very high places. Mitch McConnell is horrified, anaphylactic at the thought of Matt Rosendale being in the United States Senate after watching what myself and a small group of us committed conservatives were able to accomplish in the House. We not only changed the rules, we not only changed the leadership, but we were able to drag the conference over, kicking and screaming to the right, to pass domestic energy legislation, to pass H.R. 2, to make sure that we could secure our border and deal with this immigration problem. The NDAA, right. We had the debt ceiling resolution before Kevin McCarthy screwed it all up. We passed some really good things, and what happened? It went up to the Senate. And Mitch McConnell sat down with Chuck Schumer, and they decided it was not worthy of their passage, and in many cases, not even their consideration. And so when they see someone like me, very likely to be the next U.S. Senator from Montana, it scares the bejeebies out of them.
Right. Who's the other senator from Montana? Who is that?
Jon Tester. Jon Tester is who I will face in the general election in November. And Steve Daines now, unfortunately, is chairing the Senate committee, the NRSC, for Mitch McConnell.
And there you are. And when I was talking about the other senator, I was talking about Daines, of course. Tester, the seats are challenging, but Mitch McConnell and Daines are just like that. I mean, that isn't very nice of Daines to not put his arm around his brother Montanan, is it?
My gosh, Lou. About a month and a half, 2 months ago, they were feeling so much pressure. This is before I had even announced that they had a tweet go out from the NRSC that said Matt Rosendale must be a Democrat plant. Well, anybody who has spent more than 30 seconds around me has called me a lot of things. Most of them we can't say here on air, but never had they said he's a Democrat plant. I have supported President Trump's agenda in order to seal our border, to drive down our spending, to make sure we develop our domestic energy, and then we'll continue to do so. And that's why it's so critical once he returns to the White House in January of 25, that he has yet someone else like me to work with Mike Lee, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, Ron Johnson, to help get that Trump agenda through, or else it's going to be stymied by Mitch McConnell.
So who is the America First candidate in all of this?
Oh, clearly I am. I mean, this is not even a close comparison, Lou. The fellow that I'm running against in this primary has quotes and documents that show he has supported the DEI initiative that the Democrats put out, the ESG initiative that the Democrats put out, basically shutting down our energy development, that he embraced climate change and literally is quoted as saying Gavin Newsom is the only governor in the country who's doing anything about it. That should scare everyone. He wanted to send American troops, planes, bombs, and boots to Ukraine. American troops.
So
it's not just enough to send our money. He wanted to send American troops there.
As we look at this, as we're approaching now, I mean, this election year is moving fast. Have you got the endorsement of President Trump yet? Do you expect to get it?
No, I do not have it. And you know something? I don't know if I will get it. The fact is that I'm going to win this election, and President Trump's going to win this election, and he has done an incredible job. And once I get into the United States Senate, I'm going to help him continue to do that good work.
100%.
One 100%. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was a question. I thought you were agreeing with me, Lou.
Well, I am agreeing. If you say if you're going to be America first and President Trump loyalist, I'm 100% for you. How's that?
Let me tell you, it's not just a matter of saying it, Lou, because you and I both know there's a whole lot of people that are Trump conservatives while they're campaigning. But when it comes to tallying the votes, they fall far short from it. I mean, when the electors were getting counted up in January 6th of 2021, I voted against Arizona. I voted against Pennsylvania electors because I could tell we had enough credible allegations of fraud and state officials taking actions to change the elections that the legislators had not approved, that there was a problem. At the same time I was voting against those electors, Tim Sheehy, the guy I'm running against in the primary, was making contributions to Nikki Haley's presidential run. When Alvin Bragg put together his bogus charges against President Trump, and on indictment day, President Trump delivered a speech from Mar-a-Lago. I was down there with a half a dozen of the other members of Congress standing with President Trump. Tim Sheehy, my opponent, he was making contributions to Tim Scott's campaign at that point.
Congressman, we thank you for that, and I think that a lot of people in Montana are going to be very pleased to hear of your commitment to President Trump, and let's see what he has to say on the matter. We wish you luck and appreciate it, Congressman, you being with us. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me on, Lou. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Coming up, it's been nearly 8 years since the mysterious murder of a DNC staffer. His name, Seth Rich. Rich was shot twice in the back, leaving a bar close to his apartment. He died after being transported to a nearby hospital. We talk with attorney Ty Clevenger about new developments in the Seth Rich case.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow. Towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept. I'm interrupting this commercial to let you know you can get our 6-piece My Towels, regular $69.98, now only $29.98. Or you can save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels, made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Also, we have bath sheets, bath towels, washcloths, hand towels, and so much more. And the best part, with your promo code, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all my towels. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free. Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
Now's the time to go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use the promo code to save 50% on your My Pillow 2.0. Not only that, for a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
mypillow.com.
To celebrate the new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our My Pillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all My Pillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
Welcome back. It's been almost 8 years since the mysterious murder of a Democratic National Committee staffer named Seth Rich. Rich was shot twice in the back. After leaving a bar close to his apartment, he died after being transported to a nearby hospital. To this day, no perpetrator, no suspect has been arrested, despite the fact that the murder took place in our nation's capital. Two things immediately stood out about Rich's murder. First, the strange fact that nothing was taken from Rich's person. In other words, law enforcement could not dismiss Rich's murder as robbery gone wrong. Despite that, there was physical evidence of a struggle between Rich and his two murderers. Nothing was taken from him. His mother told the local NBC News affiliate that, quote, "They didn't finish robbing him, they just took his life," end quote. The second takeaway from Rich's murder is that just days later, the world would be shocked with the news that thousands of emails had been hacked from the Democratic National Committee. It was not hard for someone to suspect that there was a connection of some kind. The theory was, could Seth Rich have been the source to the WikiLeaks email dump? Anyone who wondered was quickly denounced as a conspiracy theorist. The Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police, in fact, called the rumors fake, insisted Rich's murder was a botched robbery, period. No connection was ever found between Rich and the DNC leak, but then again, no information was ever provided that closed the case on Seth Rich's murder. Law enforcement seemed, at best, incapable of finding out what happened, disinterested at worst in cracking the case. The story largely died out after the 2016 election. Attorney Ty Clevenger is one who refuses to give up on that case. He's worked tirelessly. Clevenger has spent years trying to obtain FBI records surrounding Rich's death. Clevenger has filed FOIA requests that the FBI has tried to stall and to block at every turn. Nearly 3 years ago, the FBI told Clevenger that it would take decades to release all of the relevant documents. Of course, that's a bizarre practice, just for a botched robbery. A few days ago, A few days ago, Clevenger received another update from the FBI. In a series of posts on X, Clevenger explained that the FBI is now withholding Rich's personal and work laptops because they are part of an ongoing, are you ready? Quote, Russian hacking investigation. So it looks like the Russian collusion investigation continues. Clevenger is calling on House Republicans now to investigate the issue, the matter, and to conduct oversight, vigorous oversight on the FBI's so-called Russian hacking investigation. And now here is Ty Clevenger. And Ty, great to have you with us. You've been working so hard on this and over so many years. The frustration level is immense, I'm sure, for you and for everyone concerned about this case. But tell us what in the world has happened with those two laptops that belonged to Seth Rich, that belonged to him. And at one point, didn't the FBI just say outright that they didn't exist?
The FBI originally said they had no records whatsoever about Seth Rich. And so over the last 6.5, almost 7 years, we've shown time and again that the FBI has been lying about records, it's lied about laptops, it's had to acknowledge the existence of a computer tape drive, a CD-ROM. So the story is constantly changing. What's new is the FBI is now all of a sudden saying that both laptops are relevant to both a murder investigation as well as the Russian collusion investigation. So the Russian hoax is alive and well. The FBI is using that as an excuse now. And you would think they would have thought of this before now, but what the FBI does is it waits until they lose, and then they come back with a new motion before the judge and say, oh, well, Your Honor, what about this? And so years into this, they're still taking second and third bites at the apple.
This is over the course of these years. I mean, you've got a judge, a federal district court judge, ordering the production of the laptops and their if you will their contents. What is it going to take to actually have that order enforced by a federal judge?
I think the judge is going to have to start calling people into his chambers or actually into his courtroom. And if they don't comply, he needs to hold them in contempt. Because if he doesn't do that, they're not going to comply. And I've had people ask me, and I think it's a reasonable question, at what point does the FBI just decide to destroy this evidence? And I can't exclude that possibility. If it comes down to it, I'm sure their calculus is what's going to hurt us the least, producing it or destroying the evidence. And if they conclude it hurts them less to destroy it, they'll destroy it.
Is it your opinion that those laptops still exist?
I think they do. I don't think they've destroyed them yet because they're still arguing that they need to protect them to use for these other cases. If they already destroyed it, I don't think they would be making those arguments, although I can't be certain about that. But they are desperate to protect whatever information is on those laptops. Now, interestingly, though, they have said that they've not looked at the contents of either the image drive of the personal laptop or the work laptop itself. So on the one hand, they're saying we've never looked at this stuff, but on the other hand, they're saying it's evidence. We know it's evidence, and we can't release it because it'll hurt our cases. So which is it?
Yeah, which is it? Indeed, there is apparently no energy in the FBI to affect a conclusion to this. Is there any indication they have any idea who the perpetrator or perps were in this case? And do they have any sense, or do you divine from anything that you've been able to learn here, what the crimes were besides obviously murder?
I think they know who was responsible for the hacking of the DNC, and I think they know that Seth Rich played a role in it. I think that's why they're so desperate to hide this information. You may recall that Concord Management, a Russian company, was indicted by Special Counsel Robert Mueller as part of the whole Russia collusion scheme. I was blamed for having a role in the hacking and so forth. And that company actually sent a lawyer to show up and demand a trial. And Robert Mueller had to dismiss the case because he didn't have a case. And so what the FBI is doing right now is they're saying there are all these Russian defendants who are responsible for the hacking, and we need these laptops as evidence to prosecute those Russian defendants. But they say this knowing that those Russian defendants are never going to show up in court. So just like Concord Management, it's a scam. They know the charges against these Russian defendants are bogus, but they're using it to hide the contents of the laptops.
So where do you go from here? How do you pursue this?
We're looking at other avenues. We're looking at some private cases on behalf of people who are affected by the whole Seth Rich fiasco and by the fact that the FBI has covered up evidence. We're looking at filing civil cases in other states to try to force some of this evidence to the surface. And of course, we're still trying to get members of Congress to pay attention.
All right. Ty Clevenger, thank you for being here, and we appreciate you bringing us up to date. And as always, we wish you all the best in your pursuit of the truth, and in the formidable odds you're up against, of course, especially the FBI, the Department of Justice, and the powers that be. I'll put it that way. Ty Clevenger, thanks so much for everything you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, the Biden administration is still keeping January 6 defendants behind bars while they await trial. Yes, it's been more than 3 years now. Many of these Americans are left to rot in conditions that even the worst criminals in this country don't experience. And one of those prisoners, one of those hostages, those political prisoners is Jake Lang. He joins us tonight straight from his D.C. jail cell. Programming reminder, please join us each and every weekday, 7 days a week, for my podcast, The Great America Show. That's The Great America Show podcast, available at LouDobbs.com, Apple, iHeart, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be waiting for you. Please catch me on The Great America Show podcast. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow, towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept. I'm interrupting this commercial to let you know you can get our 6-piece My Towels, regular $69.98, now only $29.98. Or you can save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels, made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Also, we have bath sheets, bath towels, washcloths, hand towels, and so much more. And the best part, with your promo code, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all My Towels. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free. To celebrate the new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free. Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back! The My Pillow guy!
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use the promo code to save 50% on your MyPillow 2.0. Not only that, for a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
MyPillow.com.
Welcome back. Every American, as you know, has a right to a speedy trial. It's a birthright enshrined in our Constitution. Joe Biden has spent a key part of his presidency denying Americans that right. His Justice Department has kept nonviolent January 6th defendants locked up while awaiting trial. Some still don't have a trial date. More than a dozen of those Americans remain locked up in the Washington, D.C. jail, the D.C. Gulag as it's known. It's a stain on our justice system, on our nation, and the rule of law. This extreme treatment by the Department of Justice, the Bureau of Prisons, is even more blatant when you consider that violent criminals and murderers are routinely set free after committing crimes in Democrat-run large cities across the nation. One of the more shocking cases involves a man named Jake Lang. We've had him on this program over the years, and he joined us from jail to share his story. According to USA Today, no defendant has spent more time in pre-trial detention than Jake Lang. Lang is 28 years old. He spent nearly 1,100 days now behind bars, and much of that time has been in solitary confinement. Biden's Justice Department, if you can call it that without getting physically ill, says Lang battled with police for more than 2 hours near an entrance to the Capitol. But Lang has argued in court his actions were a reaction to violence from police as he protected other demonstrators. He told Judge Carl Nichols in a September 2021 hearing that the first 10 minutes in the Capitol were, quote, peaceful. Then, he says, quote, I started witnessing disgusting police brutality. He has been, I guess there's no other word for it, confined, rotting in the D.C. jail ever since. Until yesterday, Lang posted this cryptic message on X. He says he was transported to a basement called the Tomb. Quote, they woke me at 4 a.m., forced me into 3-point shackles. They crossed me in a van full of D.C. carjacker crooks. Jake Lang says they kept him there for hours. When he was finally allowed to return to the D.C. jail, he found his cell in shambles and, quote, completely ripped apart. Jake Lang, thanks for being with us. And let's start very quickly with, I know that we're under time constraints. Give us a sense of, first of all, what your condition is right now and your circumstance in the prison.
Thanks, Lou. It's most unfortunate, the cruel and unusual punishment that is being inflicted upon the January 6ers by the Biden regime, Department of Justice, Merrick Garland, FBI, Gestapo, Christopher Wray, and the D.C. jail / the U.S. Marshals. All of them are complicit, and they've moved me out of the Central Treatment Facility, which is where about 40 Jan 6ers are housed in our own unit, and they've moved me across the street to the D.C. jail in a solitary confinement lockdown unit where there are no bowls, there are no cups, no deodorant, no soap, no toothbrushes, no shampoo, no sunlight, no religious services, and no in-person visits. Basically, complete abject tyranny and torture.
Jake, that we would even have such a facility, why? This is not the way the American prison system is supposed to work. It's not the way our Constitution works for the deprivation that you've all gone through. But anyone, whether January 6th, whatever the circumstance, deserves to be treated far better than what you've been. And they obviously don't care, because we keep putting a public eye on your circumstance and that of the J6ers, and no one seems to be in the slightest ashamed of their conduct or the circumstances they put you in, and your treatment, which has been brutal. It has been barbaric. And again, public opinion seems to be futile. They ignore us all.
it's truly spiritual warfare here. They're trying to break down our conviction and our resolve as January 6th patriots to try to get us to cave and turn on Trump. They want us to show up at our court meetings. They hand us plea deals after coercion and torture, basically that say, blame it all on Trump and you can go home, is really what the fact of the matter is. And those of us like myself and other brave Jan 6ers that refuse to bend the knee and surrender and back down to these tyrants and turn on our awesome President Trump, we are subjected to the most inhumane, undignified acts of torture. This is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. I spent the first 15 months of my incarceration without having a haircut or a shave, in 23 or 22-hour lockdown, without having visitation from my family. Now that we have a voice, though, that this has been going on for 1,120 days, I've been held without a trial, with no criminal record, with no bond, pretrial detainee. But now we have a voice, and we've been building it up, and the American people are becoming outraged. But where are the Republican congressmen? I just actually sent a text to my congressman, Mark Molinaro, about 10 minutes ago, telling him about my conditions here. And I'm going to be waiting for a response. He's refused to come visit me. My father's texted him multiple times in a group chat with me, my Google Voice number, my assistant monitors. And we have so many spineless, almost invertebrate Republicans in office right now that refuse to do anything and stand up and make any kind of impeachment resolutions to the judges and prosecutors who are holding us here and over-sentencing us and overcharging us, to try to remove Christopher Wray and Merrick Garland from office. These Republicans are 90% of the problem because they pretend like they're on our team, they get in office, and then they become feckless, spineless bureaucrats.
Well, and that may be a kind description of them from your perspective. I have to say that it is so frustrating that there has been no reaction from the Republican Party. We're going to call on everyone watching this broadcast to call their representative and to call their senators, and that number is 202-224-3121, and we'll have that up on the screen. It'll be up on our website, LouDobbs.com, on our social media, everywhere. Again, the number. Please call your representative and your senators and tell them that you want this prison system, this Justice Department, to accommodate these prisoners as if they were American citizens rather than animals. And the animals in this case are those who've imprisoned them and who are leaving them to just simply endure this without their rights in any way being enforced or respected. The number again, 202-224-3121. Jake, at this juncture, how often do you see your attorney?
I've been blessed with an attorney that's a close personal friend, Stephen Metcalf. I talk to him and see him quite often. He just filed an emergency bond application yesterday on top of another bond application that we've had, but the judge has basically smacked down my bond applications 3 or 4 times already. And it's ridiculous because you have people like the immigrants, the illegal immigrants that gang beat the police officer in my home city, New York City. I'm a New York City man. I've lived in Manhattan for almost 10 years. And the fact that they're let out in a revolving door, these people who are not even citizens to our country compared to somebody like me or other Jan 6ers, you've got U.S. Special Forces and Green Berets, you have school teachers and plumbers and carpenters and just all American men.
Well, it's outrageous.
Being held without bond. We can't even be let out to prepare for our trials. The Washington, D.C. court system, the federal court system, is so corrupt and against conservatives, against Christians, against Republicans, that we have no chance. It's a 2-tier system of justice, and they're holding us against our will as political hostages. with no respite.
Jake Lang, we're told that we're going to have to wrap because of the time limit there at the prison. We thank you. We're glad that you're safe, and we believe me, we all care deeply for all of you who are political prisoners of the Marxist Democrat Party and the corrupt D.C. Court system, and of course the corrupt DOJ itself. Thank you so much, Jake, and God bless you and keep you. Jake Lang, thank you. And coming up, the calls for Republican leader Mitch McConnell to be fired, to leave, to resign, whatever, just get out. The cries are louder and louder. And my next guest says it's time to vote McConnell out of the Senate. He joins us after the break.
Looks like you've been sleeping well,
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
and you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
Now's the time to go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use the promo code to save 50% on your My Pillow 2.0. Not only that, for a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
mypillow.com.
To celebrate the new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our My Pillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all My Pillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free. Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from My Pillow. Towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept. I'm interrupting this commercial to let you know you can get our 6-piece My Towels, regular $69.98, now only $29.98. Or you can save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels, made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Also, we have bath sheets, bath towels, washcloths, hand towels, and so much more. And the best part, with your promo code, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all My Towels. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
Welcome back. Mitch McConnell doesn't care what you think, or me. The GOP Senate Minority Leader has been around so long, he believes he's untouchable. McConnell has been in office for more than 40 years. He broke the record for longest-serving Senate leader last year. So it's no surprise that McConnell shrugged off criticism over how he bungled the so-called border bill. That deal entailed just $20 billion for the U.S.-Mexico border and $70 billion, $75 in foreign aid, adding insult to injury the fact that the deal would have also legalized illegal immigration. Most Republican voters were certainly outraged. Why would we give more abroad than we're willing to spend on stopping an invasion of illegal immigrants at our border? McConnell considered it a win, believe it or not. Recall that last year, when the border was already under siege, McConnell called the Russia-Ukraine war, quote, the most important thing in the world right now, and apparently he thought we would buy that. Well, that's why after the border deal tanked, thankfully, McConnell voted with Democrats Thursday to advance a $95 billion foreign aid package. So, well, zero money for the border, more of your tax dollars going to Ukraine and other countries. McConnell couldn't be happier or care less what you and I think. Well, here's McConnell's response to Republicans who want new leadership and this train wreck of failures and betrayals. He said simply, they had their shot. A reference to Senator Rick Scott's failed effort to challenge McConnell back in 2022. The turtle from Kentucky clearly feels invulnerable. And now this will be a bitter pill to swallow, but there is some truth to what McConnell said. Part of the reason politicians like him stay in office in seemingly perpetuity is that we permit it. They have powerful machines, well-funded machines behind them, big PACs, but we have our voices as well and our votes. And the buck had better stop with McConnell when it comes to rhinos in power. The disastrous and now deceased border bill is just an example of what they've wrought over the years. It's why we're in the mess we're in. It's up to us to organize, mobilize, do anything we can, not just with McConnell and every other rotten swamp creature. We have to really take responsibility for our communities and the way in which we choose to live in this country, and who we have to choose to be representing us in the Senate and the House. And now let's bring in Mayor Trent Staggs of Riverton, Utah, Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate, and he says it's time to vote out, among others, Mitch McConnell. Mayor, great to have you with us. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with, you bet. Let's start with your race. Give us the differentiators between you and the field.
Well, I am the only America First true conservative candidate in this race, and that's why we've received the endorsements of Senator Tommy Tuberville, of Kerry Lake, of Rick Grinnell, Kash Patel, Charlie Kirk, Mark Levin, and about 100 local elected officials, my colleagues, other mayors, city council members, county commissioners here in the state. So we've got quite the coalition that we've built. Utahns are hungry. They're hungry to have another Mike Lee in office and not a Mitt Romney 2.0. And that is the differentiator. We have other folks in this race that would be a continuation of Mitt Romney. We don't need that. We don't need it in Utah. We don't need it in this country. We're at a very, very crucial point, as you well know, Lou, and we've got to put true conservatives, America First candidates in there to be able to work with President Trump here in 2025.
Absolutely. And obviously, we wish you all the very best. And I want to say, Trent, the idea, you mentioned Mike Lee. A few years ago, Mike Lee wouldn't have been emblematic of the kind of senator that, frankly, I would have wanted you to be. He has moved in such a strong direction toward America First. He is America First. He is a man who's undergone something of a conversion, if you will, over the course of the past several years under this presidency. Your thoughts on Mike Lee?
Well, yeah, I think he's been a champion. He's been one of those few that's been able to stand up and push back against the establishment. And that's how we've framed this race here. It's, look, we need more than ever people that have demonstrated the resolve and the backbone to push up against the establishment, because that's why we're in the mess that we're in. We're 34 trillion in debt. We've got an open border. We've got a regulatory state run amok. We've got, federal agencies that are been weaponized against its citizenry. Enough is enough. We need people with courage that are going to stand up and fight. And I'm grateful that Senator Lee's been doing that. And he's been calling out and very vocal too about Senate leadership and how it's time for a change. We absolutely have to have that.
Without question. Do you think you and Senator Lee would be a good team?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had folks here in Utah say we'd be the dream team. And I think we'd help lead the rest of our federal delegation more conservative. I believe, Lou, that courage is contagious. And as we have more people that exhibit that kind of courage, we're going to be able to move the ball. And that's what I'm so excited about. I mean, here we've got an opportunity. You know, I've got the endorsement of Senator Tuberville. I think he's an America First champion and warrior. Carrie Lake, she gets in there. We've got so many that I've had a chance to talk with and build relationships with that we can get in there from day one, and I think have that critical mass that will finally be able to effectuate the change that we so desperately need in this country. And working with President Trump and being able to advance that America First agenda in January of 2025, day one, we want to go right at it.
Absolutely. And the situation that we find ourselves in right now, a president who has been declared by an investigating special counsel to have severe memory loss, to be frankly unaware of so much of his own life history, that he is without question what we've all, I think, we would acknowledge we've known for some years. The man is simply unfit for the office he holds, physically and mentally, as well as, in my opinion, ideologically. Your thoughts about where we are right now and how this will unfold over the coming weeks?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the American public is seeing that. You said for some time. I mean, I remember I took my family back just a couple of years ago to D.C. It was Senator Lee's office that connected us with tickets for the Easter egg roll. And I don't know if you remember that, Lou. I had my 14-year-old son, 11-year-old daughter there. And here's the Easter bunny, you know, directing President Biden. And I mean, it's just been an embarrassment. Sadly, you know, there's this cognitive decline and just not one that can do the job. And you juxtapose that with a President Trump who is so mentally sharp, aggressive. We need that kind of leadership on the world stage. We can't continue doing this, and we need to be able to have people of strength, of character. That's why I endorsed President Trump back in last summer in an opinion piece that I wrote and said we've got to have that kind of leadership back in office and be able to really make change for the American people, because in Utah here too, people are struggling. I mean, with Bidenomics and the inflation, I mean, it's costing Utahns about an extra $10,000 a year. We see the open border and the mess. I mean, every state is impacted now by the incompetency of the Biden administration with respect to the border. It can't come quick enough to be able to have this change.
Well, I think most of the country is in exactly that, or will vote in exactly that direction. We cannot sustain this, and we cannot survive it. We've got to change it, and this is our last chance, November 5th. Mayor Trent Staggs, we thank you for being with us. We wish you all the very best of luck. And a programming note, please join us each and every day, 7 days a week, for my podcast, The Great America Show. That's the Great America Show podcast, available at LouDobbs.com, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Spotify, every podcast platform. Wherever you get your podcast, we'll be there waiting for you. And please join us for the Great America Show podcast every single day. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. And that wraps it up for us. Join us here Monday at 7 o'clock Eastern. Laura Loomer joins us. Lee Smith and Colonel Doug McGregor will be among our guests. The Lindell Report is starting right now. Please stay with us. Thanks. Good night, and God bless you.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow